We just saw Big Hero 6, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're on the fence or trying to decide if this is a movie for you, watch the review, we won't spoil anything. If you've already seen the movie or aren't going to see the movie and just want to hear everything we thought, stick around for the entire video and we'll discuss more plot points in particular, get into spoilers and those sorts of things. Big Hero 6 is a new Disney animation. We saw it in 3D. It's very well made. It's very sort of light fare as far as animation or animated films go. It's not. They don't try and take on a whole lot. The story is very simple. It's very easy to follow. The characters are very easy to understand and follow. I had really no problems with it. I thought it was a nice little film. It's not something that, grabbed me in a way that something like the Lego Movie would have done, or some of like the better Pixar movies, like something like Up or, that sort of thing. But that's just, that's pretty high. That's a pretty high bar to reach. It's certainly better than most of the animated movies that Disney's put out in the last, it's better. It's way better than Planes 2. It's way better than Rio 2, which was a subsidiary Disney thing. Big Hero 6 it's endearing. It's funny. It's got the same kind of humor to it as the trailer has. And it actually moves a little bit quicker than I thought it would, but it still knows how to slow down for something funny, to make the robot funny, because the robot's funniest when things are just kind of slow and they let him develop a little bit and do some things. So overall, I was happy with it. I thought the 3D was good. I don't know that it really needed to be that, you'd need to see it in 3D, but they didn't do anything distracting with the 3D. It was just sort of a nice added bonus to it. So if you're up for spending the extra bucks, it might be worth doing, but otherwise it'd be fine to see it in 2D as well. So overall I would recommend it. What do you guys think?
I think it's I was trying to think when I would go see this. I think this would be a perfect movie for our 5 and 6 year old.
Oh yeah.
I think for the season it is probably a reasonable, inoffensive movie that your entire family could see for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think essentially you're right. It wasn't everyone's going to go and enjoy it and think it was the best thing they saw, but everyone will go and have an okay time.
Yeah, it's not going to be anybody's favorite movie. It's but it's a good, entertaining.
Yeah, but and the entire family will be okay with it. I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing that particularly really wowed me about it, but more importantly, there was nothing that made me go, "Oh, for goodness sake!" There was no epic facepalm kind of moments, except for a few highly predictable kind of things that Disney's kind of known to do to try and tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah.
And they're so used to doing that by now that it almost doesn't have any effect. Where it's yep, saw that coming. I'm supposed to.
Oh, he's an orphan. Oh.
Yeah. And or other things that happen that we'll get into momentarily, where it's this is supposed to be sad and this is supposed to give it some kind of some sort of emotional weight, but it's really just kind of bankrupt in that way. But having said that, it is a movie that you could go see with your entire family and nobody's really going to complain a whole heck of a lot about it. It doesn't get too slow. It doesn't get too over the top. The jokes are not super lame at any point. So I appreciated that. So I thought it was mostly an enjoyable movie. But again, with what Dale was saying about the 3D, you could take it or leave it. It almost seems like the 3D was just some sort of post-production effect that they ran without really trying to do too much to make it impressive or have anything really coming at you. So it would be fine to watch it on home video, or...
Yeah. They could have done more with the microbots. If
they
really wanted to.
Particularly with the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
They could have. I mean, and that's sort of what Maleficent was. Maleficent was really the sort of show-stopping IMAX 3D Like there are a lot of cool effects worth seeing in that
Yeah.
movie. But I would say this is a much more entertaining movie than Maleficent was. Maleficent has a really slow second act, and most of the third act's kind of weak too. So anyway, that's our recommendation. Take that and run with it. If you want to go see the movie, go see it. Don't let us spoil anything. If you continue watching, we will talk about some more spoilers and more about the story. So I figured out, not to, and I know this is based on, I think it's a comic series, but I was pretty sure like the Big Hero 6 actually referred to the team, not the robot. The whole like San Francisco.
I can't say it. I don't
San
know.
Francisco.
Is that how you say it?
It was just like they really badly mashed Tokyo and San Francisco together. And like the main character has like a Japanese name and his brother has a Japanese name. But then they're being raised by their aunt who's like a white lady with red hair. And they just it's sort of a strange combination, but I'm guessing that it's designed for it's either from the comic or it's something that they're doing like specifically to
and
make it
broaden
more
the
of an
appeal.
international appeal. Not that they, couldn't name the character something completely different in other localizations of the
redub it.
script when
Yeah.
they redub it, but that was a little like strange, but it didn't go anywhere. It's also sort of a love letter to Silicon Valley, like all these like the super nerds in their super nerd lab, and
I thought it was like a love letter to technology being so, based out of Silicon Valley and Japan, like too, where they were trying to kind of, converge those two cultures. It was sort of how it read to me.
I actually felt like they were trying to not say that San Francisco was awesome. Like they were trying to like straddle the fence and be like, no, we made up this place that's a combination of like multiple great places for technology.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
Never mind the Golden Gate Bridge or anything.
in
but-
name only.
Right.
Well, the Golden Gate Bridge got a pagoda makeover.
Yeah.
They like put the little pagoda
Yeah.
rungs on it, so it had a Japanese look to it. As far as like, spoilers and stuff. Obviously the brother dies. We know that in the trailer. If you don't know that in the trailer, then you've never watched a Disney movie before.
So there were a couple things. That was one, like, thinking of taking children to it. There are a couple things like that where you could end up in sort of a sticky situation having to, like, just explain to your kids what happened there. Like, why did that man kill his brother? Why, there's a few sort of more, that and the fact that his sort of mentor.
But he
went
dies
bad.
off screen, and
Right.
like he dies in a fire off screen, which, as far as like character deaths in Disney movies goes,
Yeah,
is not
that's true.
that big of a deal.
Yeah,
Like
it's
The Lion King has a way
Yeah.
scarier and
they go on.
more
and on.
impactful.
Right.
death.
Well, then
Up.
the other part I think that would probably take some explaining is why the person, what's his name?
Hero?
The guy who he kind of considers to be his mentor,
Oh, the
Bar-
professor.
Callahan.
Callahan, ends up being like the villain, and how that affects him. And
Yeah, and which
that
is
was
also.
kind of I
super
expected it, but I
predictable.
don't know that kids would necessarily expect it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that would be harder to kind of explain why someone who you think is an adult that you look up to does something really bad and hurts you. So
Well, but they explained his motivation really well.
Right.
They didn't explain it right off the bat, so you had to sort of
Yeah.
trust that they were eventually going to give you
Right.
a reason that this guy who seemed really nice is not being nice anymore. Because you expect it to be kind of the shady
Right.
Cray, the corporate guy, that's the villain, but it turns out to be Callahan. I actually, for a minute, when they were about to reveal it, I thought it might turn out to be the brother, and that they were going to come up with some reason that the brother had turned.
That would have been interesting.
Like that would have been more intriguing
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah.
Not that I have an explanation for it, but that was sort of, I was
Yeah,
like, oh, is it
that
going to be
would've
the
been-
brother? Because they're really like lingering on this.
Yeah.
And it really, like, it spread the story among the characters really well, in that a lot of the trailers are just like, there's some things in the trailers that aren't even in the movie. Like, there's the thing with him in the soccer ball that's not in the movie.
Oh yeah.
There's like little things like that where you almost expect, like, maybe the next couple of Disney movies will have like a short with the robot
Betamax.
with Betamax, which is another little technology joke.
One thing I didn't quite get, though, and this might have been from when I walked out for a moment, was if the hero invented the nanobots, or whatever they were called,
Yeah.
how come he had no control whatsoever over them once they were in the...
Because they were connected to the
That neural
brain
transmitter
controls
neurotransmitter
them.
thing.
But yeah, I mean, like, he invented the neural transmitter as well, so I'm surprised they didn't do anything to try and, regain control of the
Yeah,
nanobots.
I mean, if you want to nitpick it, that would have been the simple way to
Yes,
do it.
yes, I do.
That would have been the simple way to do it, but instead,
No,
like,
because then the movie would only have been like 22 minutes long.
instead they did the thing that they had never done before, which was create superhero like
Right.
suits for themselves, like the hardest possible
Way
route
cooler.
to getting there. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
not
yeah.
build the thing we did before. Let's make superhero outfits for everyone,
Yeah.
and then upgrade the robot and all of that. But hi, kids, you still watching? Well, anyway, that was Big Hero 6.
And there's room for more movies. Like, it's set up for sequels.
Oh, yeah.
Upon sequels. So something to look forward to if you enjoyed it.
Hopefully they are not the direct-to-DVD fare that the Plane series has been. I really hope they don't go that route, but we'll see.
Fire and Rescue was in theaters for like an hour or two, wasn't it?
I saw it.
In the
yeah.
theater.
I reviewed it
Oh,
in the
yeah.
theater.
You must be so proud.
Yeah.
Look that up, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for watching. This is our review of Big Hero 6. If you like the way we do reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at DaleMaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Bye.